Okay, good luck to everybody. We began with Sotah, and we saw that a Sotah is a woman who's a very unique situation. That the husband goes ahead and warns her not to be behind closed door with a particular individual. She then stays behind closed door with that particular individual the time it would take to have a relation. And then what? Even though we don't know what exactly happened there, she would be usher on her husband. Until she drinks the Sotah, Ma'arim, she will be usher on her husband, which is the Chiddush. Because again, we say, you need a davar shebe'erva, you need two people. We don't have it over here, but the Torah tells us there's such a parsha. We had a machloikis, exactly the act of kinoi, how many people had to warn. So we saw three opinions. We're actually two opinions. We had Rabbi Eliezer saying two, we had Rabbi Yeshua saying two, and then we had machloik, and then Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yehuda saying in Rabbi Eliezer, even one would go ahead, and including the husband can facilitate a kinoi. Stira, the act of being behind closed doors, was machloikis. Rabbi Yeshua again saying two, and Rabbi Eliezer saying one. So we left off with the shita of Rabbi Yosef Yehuda that one person would go ahead and he would go ahead and be able to give his wife kinoi, would cause tremendous ein l'davar life, because if a man would find his wife behind closed doors, he could say retroactively, well, I had gone ahead and warned her about this. And that would cause what? Tremendous strife. So he said, and what about by stira as well? You could go ahead if only one by stira, if you gave a kina with two and stira didn't take place, you can make up that story as well. So the Gemara said, "Ein achinami." That was the Mishnah. Even not only that, but even the case of Rabbi Yosef of Yehuda. So we're picking it up over there on Beis Amid Beis, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines to the bottom. So like. A man should never say to his wife, do not go ahead and be behind closed doors with so and so. That kina could be facilitated by himself. And then she'll have stira. And as a result, since you don't have any way out, as again, once there's kina and stira, you go ahead, she's us until she drinks the Meimarim. And since we don't have Meimarim, as man as there, you, for all intents and purposes, caused what? You to end your marriage. Amrei Shlakish. Ma Lashon Kinoi. Okay, we've discussed Kinoi, how many people, how many Eidim it takes to be Makana. What exactly is the Lashon of Kinoi? So he says, Davar HaMatal Kina Beina Lebein Acherim. It's something that causes anger between you and others. It's something that causes anger between you and others. So now, if it's going to cause anger between you and others, it must be kino al piatzmo. Now, if it must be that the husband told the wife not to be behind closed doors with so and so. As a result, the wife is going to act a certain way. People not knowing that the husband went ahead and gave her kinoi, they're going to be wondering. They won't know that she was provoked, that the husband warned her. What's going on? That she's bothered, she separates from us. And it's going to go ahead and cause cause discord between her and other people. Another Masha'en Kain, if you would have to give kina in front of two people, when you have Eidim, it has a coil. Once it has a coil, people would know the reason why she's acting this way is because she had been forewarned. But since obviously you're worrying about the fact that she can't have any social activity with other people, it must be she was warned clandestinely by her husband, and therefore no one will know about it. That's Reish Lakish. Rav Yemar bar Rav Shalmei Mishmei Dabayu Amar, and Rav Yemar, the son of Rav Shalmei, said the name of Rabbi Amar Dava Matal. He agrees that kina is lashon of kas. However, it's Dava Hamatal kina beina leveina. It's going to cause discord between him and her. It must be kinoi what is through. It must be kinoi is what through two eidim. It must be that, in other words, you need two eidim to give kinoi, and yoda de kanila. As a result, giving kinoi with two eidim, everyone's going to know about it. The right, and he, the husband, what he'll go ahead and but it will be discord between him and her. As a result, only to the Baal is going to cause anger. Again, what if it's only one of the Baal doing the kinna? The whole world will know about it. It's going to cause discord between her and the whole world because they know what's going on. If, however, you hold that two people have to give the kinna, then everyone's going to know what's going on. So the kinna will be limited to her and her husband, right? It'll be limited to that. So either way, they both learn that lashon of Sai according to Reish Lakish and Sai according to Yemer says the Gemara in Amud Aleph al Miksaba the asa liknois. That would be asa to go ahead and do kinna. Says the top Rashi. Kim in the army lashon hatolas kinnahu al ma'asa. Since it's something that places discord, it will be asa to do kinna. We don't want to go ahead and cause anger and hatred between people. And memela, therefore, kinna would be asa to do. Kinna, whatever explanation you're going to give, whether it's one that's going to cause kinna between you and other people, your wife and other people, or your wife and yourself, it's not a positive thing, therefore be asa to do. However, with the one who says that kinna, there's an opinion that you would be able to do kinna to your wife, no problem. What's the lashon of kinoi? Obviously, it can't be a lashon of discord. So Rav Nachman by Yitzchak in kinoi el lashon hasra. In fact, kinoi is a lashon of warning. It's a lashon of warning. The Chenu Omer, it says regarding the locust plague b'mei Yoel, by Yekana Hashem la'artza, he warned the locust about going ahead and eating away the land. So you see that lashon by Yekana is a lashon of warning. Right? Says the Gemara. Tanya, a person does an aveira clandestinely, like such as zinus. HaKadosh Baruch Hu machris love the goloi, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu causes it to be known berabim. Shenemar, what does it say? For over a love ruach kina, the pasuk said there'll be over ruach of kina that'll pierce over the husband a feeling of kina. And what's the lashon of avar? And the ain aveira el lashon hachraza. The lashon of aveira is a lashon of warning. Shneimar by Yitzav Moshe, and Moshe commanded by Yaviru kol b'machne, and the voice was heard b'machne. It passed through the machne. The coil was heard throughout the machne. So you see that lashon of the shirish of ayin vav reish can mean hachraza. So this woman did something illicit, and the husband, knowing that she did something illicit or suspected doing something illicit, therefore he warned her. So she does an aveira b'seiser, and now it's muchriz that, wow, look, he's announcing to the world, look, my wife is a potential noyefes, adulteress, and therefore it's going to become well known. Reish Lakish Amar, going along again in the Agadata part of Sotah, Reish Lakish Amar, ein adam oiva aveira el kein nichnas baruch shtus. A person doesn't do an aveira only if what it's nichnas by ruach shtus. Mashav niskamara any aveira. Usually aveira means the aveira. Ha-aveira is one of znus. That the action of znus is one that's done unless you have a ruach of shtus. Nemar is ki sishta ishtoi, a man that his wife will turn aside, and it says sishta ksiv. It says sishta is a lashon of shaita, lashon of being a fool. Hani Rabbi Shmuel. We spoke out the other day, guys. Remember the eight ain't ba. I don't know if I still have it up here. I wonder if I still have it up here. No, I guess I don't have it up there. It's going to be too hard to get. We said the other day, v'avalav ruach kina, right? That passed by her ruach kina, and we said two psukim. The order, it was out of order, right? We said. Okay, you guys, you can see this? Yeah? Okay, yes. This is what we said. The avar of ruach kina, the kines ishtoi. So we're saying avar is a lashon of achraza, and this is a ish kisista ishtoi. She turns aside umal b'mal, and then an act of znus is done, and then it's avar love. He's machris this act of znus. So this is a case of a person doing an aveir b'seisa the act of znus. And now it's being muchris barabim, it's non barabim. Okay, that's what we said yesterday. Now, we also said, guys, here's the limit from yesterday. The aid ain ba. There's not two aidim, but there is one aid. The hiloy nispasa, and she wasn't forced, then she'll be usher on her husband. So we said the aid ain ba teaches me that even one aid would be believed ta'aser. You'll tell me b'chol tarakula ein davar sheba pachas mishnayim. So we said yesterday we have a raglayim ledavar. We have outside information. We have the reason to believe that she must have done something wrong because of the circumstantial evidence, right? The fact that A, there was kinoi, B, there was stira. Given all those things together, it would lead us to believe that there was actually something that took place, and therefore that one aid couldn't kill her, guys, but it would ask her on her husband. It wouldn't kill her, but she would not be able to drink the Sotah. In other words, guys, after she would not be able to drink. I mean, this aid says she actually did it. He has an act. He witnessed the act of znus, right? Then he would not be able to kill her, but it would stop her from drinking the Sotah. She'd be a vadai Sotah. That's what we said. That's what we said the other day. It says Snachamal Tana Rabbi Shmuel. Because there's a strong feeling to think. Kina love in Nistar, right? Wonder, and she was Nistar. The Eirecha Meida she Tameya. Only no Papal Abaya. But Kiksiv Kinoi Bossa Stira B'Tumudich. Okay, looking at the parsha, guys. Looking at the parsha. It says Vikina Isi Ishtoi. This took place after the act of Tumah and after Stira. Pasuk Gimel. The Shachav Ish Oisa Shechva Zera, meaning there was an act of Snus, Vinistera. And then it says what? It says Kino Vikina Isi Ishtoi. It says Kino after the act of, right? After the two, Fred Gemara Kasha, I'm going to papa labai vakiksiv kinoi basa stira v'tomahu diksiva. So amalei v'avar kvar avar. When it said over here, guys, v'avar Allah pasuk yadalad, guys, look, v'avar Allah. You know what v'avar Allah means? Already before the act of what of znus, stira and znus was kina. V'avar Allah. Already he had given the kina already. Elamiyata, you can tell me va'avra means retroactively. Va'avalachem kol chalutz. Tell me by the Maisa of Bnei Gadim, Bnei Ruvain, Bnei Moshe, where they wanted to stay in Eivra Yarden. And then Moshe tells them, va'avalachem kol chalutz, you should go in front of them all as in the forefront. Hachanami hasam, hachanami, there as well, you'll say it took place. Obviously, it can't have taken place, guys, right? It's not possible that it took place. It says, hasam midichsiv, v'nich b'shal aretz l'fnei Hashem. Right? The acha teshuvu, when it says after teshuvu you shall return, mashma de laba. Mashma that what? It's laba. In other words, over there it's not possible to touch up avar that it took place already, because once it says and afterwards you'll return, so obviously it didn't take place. Mashenkin over here, you're going to tell me that warning took place after this nus already? Right? Why would it make a difference? Why would it make a difference? So, guys, over here, the pasuk we said the other day made no sense. She did an actus nus, there was stira, and then there was kinoi. If there was kinoi after this, well, who cares? Ella must be v'avra means before. You have a kasha from Bnei Gad, Bnei Ruvain? No. Over there it says achat teshuvu, afterwards you'll return, and obviously it can't mean what. Obviously, it cannot mean that that it took place already. It will go ahead and take place. Says the Gemara Vayter, Tana Rabbi Shmuel, Eino dem mekana leishtoi elam kei nichnas by ruach. A person, when he goes ahead and warns his wife, it must be because nichnas by ruach, there was some type of ruach that went ahead and entered him. Some type of spirit entered him. Right? Shenemar, what does it say? V'over Allah of ruach kina, and it passed by him a ruach of some type of ruach, b'kines ishtoi. Now, my ruach, what ruach went ahead and this? What exactly was this person feeling that he felt compelled to warn his wife? Rabbanan Army ruach tumah says it was a ruach of tumah. It was a ruach of tumah that compelled him, right? That's as a ruach tumah, and meaning like it sounds. Rav Ashi am a ruach tahira. The guy hates priestess, and it was a ruach of tahira to separate his wife. Tyra makes more sense like Ravashi. The Tanya, it says, a man goes ahead and warns his wife, Rishus, meaning it's not a mitzvah to warn your wife, but if you want to, you can. Rabbi Yishmael, Rabbi Kiva says it's a mitzvah to go ahead and warn your wife. You tell me it's a good spirit. So Shabir, so it makes sense. In other words, I can argue I have a good spirit. Now, is it a rishus to act upon that good spirit, or is it a mitzvah to act upon that good spirit? Eliyam ruach tuma. If he's telling me it's a ruach of tuma that entered the person, rishus v'chayver leyulay inshe ruach tuma benafshe. Would a person want to go ahead and bring into himself a ruach of tuma? It doesn't apply at all. So it makes more sense to say the spirit of a ruach of purity, a ruach of wanting to end any possible breach of a morality in Klal Yisrael that motivated this individual. Okay, the rest of the daf, a good part of it is going to be spent on the last statement we just made. Says Reb Yishmael, there's rishus for a person to go ahead and warn his wife. It's not a mitzvah; it's a rishus. Says Rabbi Akiva, you are what? You are commanded to go ahead and it's a mitzvah. We're going to have three places where the same dialogue takes place. The first one is over here by Sotah. The second one is whether it's a mitzvah or rishus for a kohen to be matama to a relative. And the third one is it a mitzvah or rishus not to free your Eved Kanani, not to free your Eved Kanani. There's according to Rabbi, it's a rishus. According to Rabbi Shmuel, according to what? According to Rabbi Akiva, it will be what? It will be a mitzvah. So three places we're going to have the machloikis and how it applies. Okay? So again, a digression from Sotah. Says the Gemara. Kufa, as we just mentioned previously. V'kines ishtoi, it says v'kines ishtoi, rishus, that's a rishus. The Rabbi Shmuel, those are the words Rabbi Shmuel. In other words, you don't have to warn your wife, but if you want to, you can. Rabbi Kiva, it's a mitzvah. Secondly, lo yitama, to a relative, the kohen can be matama, rishus, it's a rishus. The Rabbi Shmuel, but if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to. Rabbi Kiva, Eimer, chayva. Rabbi Kiva says, no, it's a chayv, you have to, it's a mitzvah. Lo ilam hem ta'avoidu, rishus, right? That the Eved will serve you, it's a rishus. The Rabbi Shmuel, Rabbi Kiva, Rabbi Kiva's the opinion, chayva, it's a mitzvah. Chayva, in fact, it's a mitzvah. Amlir Papa Labaya. Says a Papa Labaya. The Imi law Rav Mishashil Rava. Lema Rabbi Yishmael Rabbi Kiva. The Chalatara Kula Hachi Pligi. You mean to tell me that they're going to argue Chalatara Kula that what? That whether it's a mitzvah or a shus? In other words, guys, according to Rabbi Yishmael, is it a mitzvah to sit in a sukkah or a shus to sit in a sukkah? It's a mitzvah where it sits or a rishus to where it sits. A mitzvah to put on tefillin, rishus. Obviously, that can't be, right? Obviously, it can't be that Rabbi, in other words, the mashmai says every mitzvah say, like Rabbi Yishmael, would not be an obligation. It would be permission. If you want to, nit. So that can't be the b'shat. So the Gemara is going to say, no, we're limited to these three places because there's a reason to think that you should not be able to do it. Therefore, you need a Rabbi Yishmael tell me it's rishus that you could do it. And there's three things that are pushing me, as we're going to see right now. Okay. So the kuliyah hachi pligi, the maram rishus, the maram chayva, and that makes no sense. It makes no sense to say that that they're arguing that way. To say that they're arguing in every mitzvah. Amalei hacha b'kroi pligi. Over here, these three places they're arguing in a pasuk. The following. It says v'kineis ishtoi is rishus. The Rabbi Yishmael. Rabbi Kiva Omer chayva. He says it's a chayv. My time with Rabbi Yishmael that says it's rishus. Savala ki haytana the Tanya Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov Omer klapish amatayra leisisna esachicha bilvavecha. The Torah says, "Well, you should not hate your friend in your heart." Yachol kigoin zeh, right? I might think over here also to give your wife kina is going to go ahead and create marital discord. It'll create sinna, and therefore what? You wouldn't be able to do it. That you that you could do it, but that not that it's a mitzvah to do it. Guys, let's look at my fingers. Let's look at fleishiks, milichiks, and pyre, right? So usually you say the following: it's a mitzvah, so just go ahead and do a mitzvah. So over here, I would say the following: you want to say it's a mitzvah to go ahead and warn your wife. I would say it's an avera to warn your wife. Why? It says like sisna, you're going to cause hatred. So therefore, you know what the Torah tells me? Not that it's a mitzvah, it's not just an avera. So rishus, it's a rishus if you want. In other words, it moves it one degree. That's what it does. It moves it 1 degree. That's what it does. That's what I would say. Since I have a reason to not do it, I need a pasuk to tell me you could do it, but not that you have to do it. Guys, be medayik in my words, right? In other words, since I have a pasuk that tells me you shouldn't do it, I have a pasuk that tells me that if you want to, you can, but not that you have to. And Rabbi Akiva holds, no, you have to. That's the whole Torah over here. So therefore, look at Rashi, guys. Klape, Rashi, go about a little past the halfway point. Klape, Kimoy Achre, afterwards, Shema Torah. She'asa lehevi atzmoy lidei sinna v'tagar. Guys, the Isser of Leisisna Achicha Belvavecha, you're not supposed to put yourself in a situation of hatred. You shouldn't put yourself in a situation where you're going to have a fight with somebody. Avoid it. So if you're going to go ahead and give your wife and start, trust me, it doesn't take much to cause marital discord. You say the wrong thing, the food doesn't taste so good. Big spritz, right? All of a sudden it becomes a major zach. It doesn't take much. So therefore, you would think that you shouldn't do it. So therefore, the Torah tells me, no, b'kines ishtoi, you have permission to do it, but not that is a mitzvah to do it. You have permission to do it, not that it's a mitzvah. Guys, you have this? You have it right? The Rishus? Good? You have it? Okay, great. Now, Rabbi Akiva, what about Rabbi Akiva? Rabbi Yishmael is correct. He's correct. Rabbi Akiva, kini achrina ksid. There's a second kinoi. It says twice. We saw the kini esishta, guys. We saw the pasuk. It says it twice. It says Gemara, Rabbi Yishmael, what does he do with the second one? I did the boy lemichta v'hinit ma v'loinit ma. Nami v'kini esishta. In other words, even though whether she did or she didn't, she can't live with her husband afterwards unless she drinks. So therefore, the Torah repeats v'kinoi. The Tana Rabbi Yishmael called Pasha Shenemra v'nishnis. Any pasha that's stated once and repeated, it's only repeated for the chiddush of the pasha. What exactly does it say in the pasha, guys? What does it say in the pasha? Whether she did or she didn't, right? There's the chiddush. She's going to be brought to the kohen. So the Torah will repeat the v'kinoi not to teach me something. It'll repeat it. Why? To focus on the chiddush of the din, which is that the din of Sotah applies whether she did or she didn't. That's why it's repeated, but not to teach me that it's a mitzvah to go ahead and give your wife kina, to be makani your wife. So that's the first of the three. The next one is the mitzvah for a kohen. It says in the parsha of the kohen, and to his sister, Basula was not married. To her, you can go ahead and be matama. To her, you can go ahead and be matama. That's what it says in the parasha. Okay, so now, says Rabbi Yishmael, guys, it's a reshus to be matama to your sister or any other relative. The kohen has permission to be matama, but not a mitzvah to be matama. Says Rabbi Akiva, no, he has a mitzvah to be matama. Let's see it inside. He learned it Mark Sivnami Vikines Ishtai. The Tana Yishmael, okay, says the Gemara, I lost the place. My time to Yishmael, I Siv Emerald Kahanim. Since it says Emerald Kahanim, say to the Kahanim Bnei Aaron, V'mata Aleim L'nefesh Lo Yitama Ba'amav, you should not be Matama. So therefore I would say you can't be Matama. It's the Richlemichtiv, you have to write Lo Yitama, but not that it's a mitzvah, but you have permission to. Rabbi Akiva says no. Im l'sheirei nafka, l'sheirei karvei love, and therefore lo yitama lamali. I would know relative. I can be matama to a relative from l'sheirei. Why repeat lo yitama? To tell me, it's a chiyuv, it's a mitzvah. Rabbi Yishmael lo mitama. To her you can be matama ve'mitama leveireha. We saw in Masechta Nazir that an evim min achai or evim min ames is mitama. So what happens, loyalenu, if a relative of a kohen who, if she was shalem, you would be matama to? How do you know if an aver of that person gets disattached that you can't be matama to? Says the Gemara on the base that that's what Lo Yitama teaches me, but not that it's a mitzvah to be Matama to a Karav by a Kohen. Rabbi Akiva, where does he know that from? In Kain Lichtlev Rachmana La, just write La. The Lishtoi can be quiet. Yitama La Malif. Why do you learn from the word Yitama? Then what? That you can be Matama to, you can't be Matama to a relative. Shmamina, Rabbi Shmuel, I did the cost of law, cost of Nami Yitama, to tell me the Chetan Rabbi Shmuel, the Chetan Rabbi Shmuel, called Pasha Shenema of Nishnis, like Nishnis Ela Bishvil Davish and Skachaba. In this case, the Chiddush is that you can't be Matama to an aver of a relative. Okay, the pasuk says, L'olam behem ta'avodu. It says by the Eved Kanani, L'olam ta'avodu. So just there's a Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us, Loisachai kol neshama. Guys, there's a mitzvah to kill out. There's a mitzvah to kill all the Zion of the 7 nations, right? The Chibi, Girgashi, Prizi, Yevusi, Kanani. There's a mitzvah to kill them out. Now, what happens if you have a female Girgashi, a female Kanani, and she lives with a Mitzri, and they have a little girl, a little boy? Is there a mitzvah to kill? The mother is one of the Zion Umois, and the father is not. And the halacha is you always go after the father. The halacha is you always go after the father. If the father is from the Zion Umois, it's a mitzvah. If the father is not from the Zion Umois, then not. Okay? With that hakdama, we're going to be listen to the machloikas between Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Akiva. So what does it say? You're permitted to go ahead and be mishtabed and Eved Kanani lo'olam if you want to. You don't have to free him. Div Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Akiva, and Rabbi says chayv, it's a chiyuv. My time with Rabbi Shmuel. What's the reason Rabbi Shmuel says it's rishus? I did the chiyuv since it says lo yisachayir kol neshama. It says you have to kill out the Zion Umois. It's the Rechnami Lichtov. You have to write L'olam Tavodu. What does that mean? L'mishri Echa Mikol Umois Shebal Kananis. One of the nations that you're not mitzvah to go ahead and kill, that has relations with a Kananis who you are mitzvah to kill, that you would have permission to go ahead and acquire him. Since the Yichus goes after the father, fellas, since the Yichus goes after the father over here is not from the Zion Umois, despite the fact the mother is. Therefore, L'olam Tavodu tells me I can go ahead and have that as a kenech, as a slave. Says the Gemara, the Tanya, Minayin le'echad mina umois shebal kananis. One of the nations that you're allowed to let live has relations with a kananis. Ben, and they have a child. That you could acquire him in the Evan, you don't have to kill him. Right? Hagorim imachem bahem tiknu. From the children of those who live with you, you're able to acquire. It says Hagorim imchem. Yochel afa kanani sheba alachas mina umois. I might think of a male kanani that comes upon a mitzvah or sharumais. V'hoilu mimenu ben. That you can keep us in Eved. Children that are born in your aretz. That means the father is not from the land, but they're born in the land. Right? They're not from your land, but they're born in the land. But not from those people who live in your land. Right? So that's what he uses that you're able to go ahead and purchase and keep as an Eved or someone who was a half of the Zion nation, provided the half was the maternal half, not the paternal half. Rabbi Akiva, who says it's a L'olam Tavodu is a mitzvah. Where does he know this from? He learns it from the words Mimehem Tiknu, the heter of keeping them. When it says Mibnei HaTeshavim Hagorim Mimachem Mehem Tiknu, when it says Mehem Tiknu. So L'olam Tavodu Lamali. So why do you need L'olam Tavodu? Is l'chayv, it's a mitzvah that go ahead and be mishabed and not free one of this nation. Rabbi Shmuel, what does he do with Bahem? Bahem, it says only an Eved Kanani could you go ahead and treat as an Eved. It's also to treat an Eved Ivri the way you can treat an Eved Kanani. We're going to see in Masech the Kedushin. It's the whole parsha Eved Ivri, but the way you treat an Eved Ivri is a lot different than you treat an Eved Kanani. So he learns that from the Mehem that Rabbi Kiva uses to teach me the halacha of the half Eved. That as long as the male half is not non-Zayin Umois, you're good. L'olam Tavodu is a mitzvah. He uses the Mehem to teach me what, but not Klal Yisrael. Question: what does Rabbi Kiva know that him and not Klal Yisrael? Rabbi Akiva b'achechem mesefer the Karnafka. He learns that from the end of the pasuk. It says L'olam behem Tavodu u'ba'achechem b'nei Yisrael ishba'achiv le'sir deba b'farech. your brother, Bnei Yisrael, you should not treat with heavy labor. Rabbi Yishmael, what does he do at the end of the pasuk? Right? The same thing is repetitious. The time of Yishmael, Kopasha Shnema V'Nishtis, like Nishtis, Ela B'Shvil Dovish in the Schat Shabbat. The whole reason why is the thing that was Machadish there. Okay, so you have just a summary. Don't think for a second Rabbi Yishmael says that every mitzvah say is a rishus. No, every mitzvah say is a mitzvah. These three places, since there be a svara to say you should not do it, I need a pasuk to tell me you should do it. By kino asishta, it was the pasuk like l'sisna achicha b'vavecha. By lo yitama, it was the pasuk v'amarta emer l'kohanim v'amarta lehem l'nefesh lo yitama. And by le'olam ta'avaydu, right? The pasuk is, we said, l'chayah kol neshama. So therefore, I needed all these cases to tell me otherwise, but not to tell me it's a mitzvah, like Rabbi Yishmael to tell me it's rishus, and Rabbi Akiva, it was repeated to tell me it was a mitzvah. Tell me it was a mitzvah. Let's continue. Rav Chisda says Rav Chisda, Znusa bebeisa, if a person has znus in his house, it causes destruction to the house. He karyo l'shem shama, like the worm karyo destroys the sesame. Like I saw a shot that the you don't see the destruction; it destroys it from the inside. So who are them by znus? If a woman is busy with znus and other things, sometimes the husband is unaware, and she's going ahead and causing financial destruction as well by spending money on her paramours. If you have kas in your house, it's again, it's similar to what the sesame. There's worm in the sesame. This din of kas and the din of znus is by a woman. Fascinating Rashi here, guys, in human relations. It says if a woman is mizana or kasanis, she gets angry. If isha misasekes is nunim, since he's being involved in illicit relations. She doesn't do work. She doesn't watch her house. She's mafka all the possessions, right, to the people that she's with. So the husband, again, not financial ruin. That's why it's so dafkawat by the woman that you have to worry about the situation. Okay, says the Gemara right. Initially, when Yisrael was squeaky clean after they came out of Mitzrayim, the Shechina was sure in everybody's house. Shneimar, ki Hashem Elokechem etzalech b'kerb b'mechanecha. Kadosh Baruch Hu will go among your camp. Kima shechatu. Once they did the chait, guys, of the Balapar, you remember that Bilam Yamach Shemai, Bilam was not successful in cursing the Jews, but Bilam went ahead and told the world the way to get to the Jews is through snus. He said the gods of the Jews cannot go ahead and live amongst us. The kedusha of him does not allow it. So what he had was the minyanim. They went up and went to battle. They sent these prostitutes beforehand, and they caused Klal Yisrael to go ahead and be over averis of snus. And this is what happened as a result. Kiven shechatu nistalka shchina mehem. Since shechatu the shchina left them. Shenemar v'layir b'cha erbaz dava v'shav me'acharecha. You should not see Erbaz Dov and turn around. Again, Kadosh Baruch Hu cannot exist among you. B'shav me'acharecha, he turns around. Anyone does a mitzvah in this world, will go ahead and lead him to the next world. And in front of you will go your tzidkis. And anyone does an aveira in this world, it clings, so I lechas the fun of liyamadin. Shneimar the pasuk. Shneimar, that was the pasuk say. I give you a quote. The pasuk says, "Yilafsu orchos darkom yalu b'toyo v'yavedu." The aveira will be tied to him and will go with him to Gehenim, which is the makam of tohu. Rabbi Lezer says, "Kishur by kekelev," it follows him like a dog. Shneimar, it says what? By Yosef, when Eshes Potiphar, she was trying to incite him to do an Aveira, it was like Shama Eleha, Lishkaf Etzla, he didn't listen to go be with her, Lios Ima, Lishkav etzla oilam hazeh liyos ima oilam haba. He didn't want to go ahead lishkav this row because it would be what go ahead what in the next row. Okay, I think we'll stop over here. Okay, everyone should have a good evening. Good